Hello, this is Mark Wildman of Wildman Athletica, and today we are going to talk about a double kettlebell exercise, the double kettlebell hang clean squat. People who do barbell will be familiar with an exercise like this. Think of this as the kettlebell equivalent of an Olympic lifting exercise. Barbell setups tend to be relatively expensive because when you start doing something like Olympic lifting, you tend to need a platform because you tend to lose the weight a lot. And if you start dropping several hundred pounds on any type of floor, it tends to start doing damage if the floor has not been specifically designed for it. This exercise is a hang clean, where you come to a dead stop in each clean, as opposed to a swing clean. We'll demonstrate both. For the swing clean version, the more kettlebell specific version, we step up to our kettlebells, feet pointed generally straight ahead. 2 kettlebells is about 16 to 18 inches broad, depending on what manufacturer you get them from. There is a little bit of variation in there, but think about 16 inches. Think about 2 fingers distance between the kettlebell and your feet for the most part. Step back from your kettlebell, 12 to 18 inches to get your setup. Thumbs point towards the sky, thumb points back, unless you're an advanced kettlebell athlete. Grab your kettlebells in the corner of the bells. We're going to hike it back, hands all the way up in front. The goal is to not smash your fingers together on the catch. Get your fingers out of the way, wrists flat, elbows together. Squat, get down as low as you can, lean back as far as you can. Stand all the way up, squeeze your glutes at the top. Push the weights back, thumbs point back for a swing clean. Swing, clean, squat, lean back, stand up. Thumbs point back, swing, clean, squat, lean back as far as you can. Try to verticalize your spine. Stand up. When we turn this into the dead clean, instead of pushing the weights back, think about pushing the weights down. This gets a little bit dicey as the kettlebells get heavier. It is a different kettlebell technique. The kettlebells should stop moving. Then you are going to accelerate the weights straight up. Dip, get the kettlebells up, fingers still out of the way, get all the way down, elbows track inside the knees, lean back, make your spine as vertical as possible. Stand up, squeeze your glutes, lock out your legs. Stop the kettlebells from moving, lock out, then start over. Straight down, up, fingers out of the way. Get back, lean back, drive up. Stop the kettlebells from moving, track down, get the weights up, lean back, make your spine as vertical as possible, drive all the way up. Set it down with the swing clean technique. Push it back, track it out in front, leave the weights. The swing clean is relatively fast. You're capturing movement. You're moving the weight forward and back, a curvilinear path to the weight. Barbells tend to move in a straight line up and down, and you move your body around the bar. With kettlebells, because you can pass the line of your body, you tend to move the bells around your body. The hang clean, where it's going straight up and straight down, slows you down. It changes the angle at which you are producing force. Instead of back to front hip snap, it goes back to being like a barbell hip snap, which is the kettlebells coming straight up. With something like a barbell, your elbows would be driving up in front. On this, think about your elbows driving in towards the center. We want to make sure we're doing a kettlebell grip, not a barbell grip. With a barbell, the weight has to sit behind your hand. With a kettlebell, you can make your pinky, your wrist, and your elbow a vertical line. Think about squeezing the elbows together at the top. At the bottom of our squat, our elbow position is important. Many people in the beginning will drop their elbows way too far down, rounding their back. Lift the chest up, elbows touch directly on the inside of the knee so that you can lean back away from the weight. The hang clean slows you down. It is one of many, many variations you can do with kettlebells. The great thing about kettlebells is that you can constantly add complexity if you do not have access to more weights. You can learn to endure longer. For the most part, barbell math is very, very different than kettlebell math. Kettlebells, you tend to add volume or time under tension as opposed to adding weight like you do with barbells. Barbells, you can add 5 pounds on each side, 1 pound on each side, and work on your 3 sets of 3 or your Olympic lifting program, which is probably an hour and a half each day. With kettlebells, you can add complexity, you can change the pace, and that alters that time under tension. By slowing it down, you change the rate at which you breathe. You change the demand on the body. You will lift lighter weights with kettlebells than you do with barbells. Barbells are symmetrically loaded. The center of mass of a plate is directly in the center. With a kettlebell, the center of mass is outside of your body frame. The center of mass is over here, not in the center. That changes the way the weights feel, and the apparent weight to the athlete is a little bit higher. If you're using competition adjustable kettlebells, you can microload, which is what most people need. If you have traditional weights, fixed weights, weights that do not change, and they come in 4K jumps, think a 4K jump is 8.8 pounds on each side. If you were to go up 4K with 2 kettlebells, it would be a 17.6 pound jump every time you jumped weights. That means that you alter the volume of your training, not the intensity. So you would do the same number of reps each time or hold the weights for the same amount of time. You would take a break and you would add more sets to the end of training. It's a simple idea, but it works very well. If you have adjustable kettlebells, you can treat it more like barbell, but it is still not the same as barbell. You can still alter different variables, specifically pace, timing, and time under tension.